Hello and welcome everybody. So we're just about to get started. We've got a couple hundred people signed on with us right now, so this is exciting. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about. First of all, we're going to give a brief overview of MyAccount, what it is, how it can benefit you. Then we're going to go through how you can access MyAccount, either if you already have an account set up, some of the steps that are going to happen next when we switch our systems over, or if you're brand new to MyAccount and you need to sign up yourself. We're then going to have a live demo of what the new MyAccount is going to look like, so you guys can already start building a little bit of that muscle memory ahead of the platform going live. And then we're going to talk about some next steps, so a couple of important dates and pieces of information and where you guys can get resources if you need them going forward. I'm Ian McDonald. I am a relationship manager with the Workers' Compensation Board of Nova Scotia. The one thing that I want you guys to know is that if you have any questions at any point in time during this webinar, please send them to the email address that you can see up there, coresystemstraining@wcb.ns.ca, and time permitting, we're going to try to answer as many questions as we can. So with that being said, let's start. So why are we here and why are we doing this? So our current claims management system is what it is. We are modernizing and we are going with a software package called Guidewire. This is used by a number of other insurance organizations across North America and across the world, and it is considered to be an industry-leading software package. So we're really excited about the added functionality that that's going to bring to our own internal case management team. But also, this is going to enable us to have some more features to MyAccount and WCB Online so that the employer community is going to be able to have access to more of these functions, to more benefits, and making your lives a little bit easier when you're interacting with us. Another important thing is that it's actually going to have more real-time access to information. So one of the things that I hear most commonly when talking to employers is they want more information and they want it to be able to be accessed in a simple and straightforward manner, and Guidewire is going to allow us to do that. So one of the key benefits of this, and it's the same as the software package that we have today for MyAccount, is that it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you don't have to wait for someone to be able to call you back during business hours. If it's 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday, you can submit forms to us. You can send us messages. You can work on your schedule, what works best for you. We know that most businesses in Nova Scotia don't work on a Monday to Friday 9 to 5, so this is about how do we provide services to you on your territory in a way that is meaningful for you. So let's talk about what's going to be the same, and let's talk about what's going to be a little bit different. So you can currently use MyAccount to manage your policies, to manage your quote-unquote account with us. You can also access claim-related information, like claim status. That's going to stay the same. You'll be able to securely message with us, so more secure than email, and we're dealing with a lot of confidential information, so that is an excellent tool. So you don't need to send us a fax, you don't need to give us a phone call, you can communicate with us electronically. You can also send us documents via this platform, and we can receive documents that way. And then we can also send documents back to you, which is handy. And then you can also directly submit forms such as injury reports to us. All of these things are really important. They're core to the platform, and they are going to be staying the same going forward as well. So we're not losing any of the good stuff that we already have. The nice thing is that we're actually going to be adding some more things in as well. So going forward, you're going to be able to manage your contractors via the portal. This includes you're going to be able to monitor their clearance status, and you can be notified if you so wish of any time that one of your contractors has a change in their clearance status. So if they either change from not cleared to being cleared or vice versa, you can be notified of that. You don't have to manually check it. You'll also be able to submit payroll to us via the platform, and the software will automatically calculate, based on the payroll that you've submitted and based on your rate, the premiums that are owing. Real time, right away. And then you can click the link, you can go to CRA, and you can make sure that those premiums get paid, all in a matter of minutes. Another thing is we're going to have some enhancements to our self-serve claim reporting features. So there's a certain amount of data that you have access to right now, and we're going to be adding more fields and more things that you can capture so you can have more meaningful reports. And another nice quality of life improvement is that we are going to be able to switch between different policies without logging out. So any organization right now that has multiple accounts with us, multiple firms and divisions, in order to access the information in each one of those accounts, you would have to log into one, do what you're going to do, then you would end up logging out and having to log back in to access the next account. With this platform, you're only going to have to log in once, and you're going to be able to switch between all of your different policies on the fly, which is very, very nice. So with that, currently your accounts are called firms and divisions. So you can have a firm with multiple divisions. That's just the way that our account structure has been for quite some time. Starting in June, the terminology is going to be changing a little bit. So instead of firm, you're now going to have an account. And instead of a division, there's now going to be a policy. So just as a little bit of a disclaimer, I may accidentally flip back to firm and division at some point during this webinar because I've been using them for quite a while. But going forward, it's going to be account and policy. And it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for myself included, but this is all part of our transition. Now, just for clarity, you're going to have one account, but you can have multiple policies the same way that you currently have multiple divisions. All right, and now we are going to have a look at how we access MyAccount. So, MyAccount will continue to be accessible via our main website, wcb.ns.ca. A lot of you I know have actually made bookmarks to the login portal for MyAccount, and it's really good to know that going forward, your existing bookmarks will still work. They are going to redirect you to the new login page, so you don't have to update your bookmarks if you don't want to. However, there will be a new login page, so if you feel like you want to and you don't want to have to go through the redirection process every time, feel free to do so. Now, for most of you that have already signed up, you simply click on the login page and you can see on the left-hand side, email, password, login as you usually would. However, if you don't currently have access to MyAccount, you can click on the right-hand side and click to start the sign-up process. Now, when you land on this page, after our new system goes live, to register, you need two pieces of information. You're going to need your temporary registration code and your business number. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I don't know what a temporary registration code is, that doesn't seem familiar to you, we send out the temporary registration code when you initially sign up for WCB coverage. So if you don't currently have it, don't worry and don't think that you have to go through digging through a bunch of old papers. All you have to do is give us a call at our 1-800 number, and that's also accessible on our website, and we will provide you with a new temporary registration code. So just to note, that registration code does expire after 30 days, so only request that code when you're ready to fully go through with the sign-up process. All right, now we are going to have a look at the actual MyAccount platform and what it's going to look like and what it's going to be able to do for us after June 2019. All right, now we are going to jump over to MyAccount and we're going to actually have a look at what this platform looks like and what it can do for us. All right, just a disclaimer, the account that we are currently logging into and all this information is not real information. So this is just kind of a fake account that we have created for the purposes of demonstration. So obviously Acme Corp of Wile E. Coyote fame is not a real corporation in Nova Scotia. So let's just get that one out of the way. So on this page, we can actually see we've logged in and this is the first policy that we see. And when we click on the drop down, there's multiple policies that we can choose from here. So we're going to choose 0003 and we are going to select, and that is then going to bring us to the notifications page. All right, so this is one of the changes from old MyAccount to new MyAccount. So when you log into the new system, the landing page is going to be all notifications that you have. So everything from caseworkers being assigned or reassigned to a claim, changing the status from pending to approved or to closed, the fact that you have a new secure message or you have a new letter, all of these things are available. And you can actually have a look on the left-hand side as well. You can select multiple messages and delete them all at once if you so choose. And that is a much desired new function of the platform. It's something that I've heard from many different people. Now, up in the top right-hand corner, we can see the notification bell. So anywhere you go in the portal, that bell will always be there, and you will always be able to see this initial set of notifications from that little bell. So wherever you go, they're going to follow you. All right, so now we're going to have a look at the claim tab. So if you know the claim number, if you've got a list somewhere, and if that's the easiest way for you to keep track of the claims that you currently have open, you can input the number, and that will bring you right to the claim you're looking for. There we go. So same as how Acme Corporation is not real, this is also not a real claim either, just as a disclaimer. So we see a lot of different things in here. So we can see obviously the injury date, the nature of the injury, the event or exposure, and then on the bottom we can also see some of the financials. So we can see how much was paid this month for a couple different categories: temporary benefits, if there's a permanent benefit, healthcare, and then the sum on the bottom as a total. So this is very similar to what we have now. Now, when we go to the claims opened page, we can see all claims opened in a given month. Now, this is similar to a tool that we already have available via MyAccount, but this is a very, very useful tool. Now, there's a lot of claims that are opened up in Nova Scotia, not via Form 6-7 directly from an employer, but rather a worker will go to a healthcare provider and the report will be initially filed by them before the employer can file a report. So if you monitor the claims open tab on a regular basis, you can see if we've received a claim or if we've received information about an injury from a source that isn't the employer, so you can kind of stay on top of things and you can see what's happening and you know the right questions to ask. Now, our resolution is a little bit lower here, but you can see if you click on the plus on the left-hand side of a claim, it will let you know if we have received the injury report, yes or no. For other resolutions, if you have a wider screen monitor, it'll appear on the right-hand side in a separate column that you don't have to click into. And just like with searching by the claim number, there's all the information that you need. Now, let's have a look at what happens when we go to do a claims data download. Now, this feature currently exists, but we've made a couple of really nice additions here. The most important one is the fact that we now include payment data in the information that you can download, and you're also able to search by that. So we're going to look for all claims that received a payment from May 1st to May 31st. So, I misspoke. That is an option. On our second webinar, we are going to go into more detail on what that actually looks like. But just know that you'll be able to do that. Excellent. Now, we're going to have a look at the Costs tab. So this is a really good place for you to be able to track the costs on your account year over year. So you can see if there's any kind of a significant change. So if you are a self-insured organization, this is dollar for dollar what's being spent on your claims. And if you are a regularly classified organization that pays us a premium, which the vast majority of organizations in the province are, this will be information that you can kind of gauge to see how your performance is doing and if you can expect an increase or a decrease in your rate going forward. So this is very, very handy. On the left-hand side, we're not going to go into them yet. That could be something that we do in the next webinar, but there's more information there so you can actually see how you stack up to other folks in your industry, and there's other metrics that you can look at, so total weeks of temporary benefits and injury types and on and on. All right, so now we're going to have a look at the financials. So you can access your experience rating statements on the go, just like you can now. An important thing to note is that currently you have access to 2 years of experience rating statements. And going forward, I believe we are going to have access to what we have going forward, and legacy data may not be included. So if that is important information to you, that would be something that you might want to download so you can save that for your records. Statement of accounts is in the exact same position as that. Now, let's have a look at the Payroll tab. So like I mentioned earlier, you have the ability to actually report your payroll and have the premiums calculated in the moment, so then you can actually pay your premiums without having to wait for a calculation. So you can look at different time periods and you can calculate based on your payroll for those months. So here we're going to enter our payroll for this period, and we are going to click on Calculate Premium. Based on the information you provided, your premium is $1,297.53. You can then click Submit. If you want, you can make another submission. And you can see that that then gets entered. Excellent. So, on our next webinar, we're going to go a little bit more in detail into what that looks like and some of the other functionality that's included. But for now, we're trying to just give a high-level overview. So we are now going to go on to the next tab of Forms and Letters. So this is the landing page for the Forms and Letters, and this is where you can see a couple of different things. First of all, you can see up top, we have the ability to create a form. So you can either create an injury report or a worker earnings information report. So if we wanted to create an injury report, this looks very similar to what currently exists in my account. There is one very nice quality of life upgrade here as well. When you go to fill out all the different fields, if you try to click Next, and there is a field that's required that hasn't been filled in, it will not let you proceed, and it will tell you which fields are required. So currently, you don't find out if there is a missing required field until the end. Going forward, you're not going to be able to get to the next stage without actually filling in the required field. This is excellent, and this is another thing that I have heard a lot from the employer community that I know a lot of people are going to be very pleased with. Now, without finishing it, we can actually save and close. So you don't need to submit an injury report when you start creating it in the platform. So we will actually hold an incomplete or unsubmitted form for 90 days. So if you start it and then you need to come back after a couple of days and then continue, you can do so. Just a reminder that there is a reporting requirement of sending us an injury report within 5 days of the employer being notified for injuries that would require us to be notified. Now, we're going to have a look at the Letters tab. This is another really nice feature. So letters that are generated by our system in June and going forward will automatically be posted to the account. So you can see here there's a number of different letters that are available. So a claim open letter, an experience rating statement. We're going to have a look at the employer welcome letter. Exactly what you would receive in the mail, except electronically. And the platform maintains these records for you, so if you need to go back and search for them at any given point in time, they will be accessible to you on the platform. So, you might have noticed, but that letter did have a different look and feel. So we are updating our visuals and we're updating our language as well, all as part of our ways of trying to find ways to serve you better. Now, one important thing to note, this is for the letters that are generated by our system. If a caseworker creates a letter and sends it to you, that will be accessible via the secure messaging feature. So that won't show up in this list, but that will be maintained in secure message. All right, now we are going to have a look at the Contractor tab. So this is where we can manage contractors in real time. There's a lot of different functionality that we have here. You can manage a contractor list of all the contractors that you typically use on a regular basis. You can check clearance status. You can do a lot of things. Now we're just going to do a very brief overview right now, and we're going to go into more detail of the contractor management portion of my account with the next webinar in June. So to start, we're going to search for Earl's Tea as a contractor. So we can see Earl's Tea shows up. They're registered with us, and they are currently in clear status, which is excellent. So they are fully paid up. They have fully active WCB coverage. Just what we want to see. Now, when we search for ABC Consulting, we see that this is a business in the province, but that they are not registered with us. So they do not have active WCB coverage. Now, we're going to go to the Manage Contractor list. We can see all of the contractors that we have hired in the past, and we can see on the right-hand side it says Alerts. So, when you click on any one of those, you can change whether you want notifications enabled or disabled. So, if you want to monitor the clearance status of one of your contractors, you can click Enabled, and you will receive a notification anytime that changes, either from not clear to clear or clear to not clear. However, if you don't want to monitor the status of any one of them, you can click Disabled and click Save Changes. So that's very high level. We're now going to search for Barry's Bootcamp. And we can see the contractor is clear. They have coverage, so if we want to hire them, we're going to pop into this screen where we're going to choose the duration of the contract for what we need Barry's Bootcamp for. The month of June and July. We're going to talk about the type of work, performing labor, and submit and hire. Are you sure you want to hire the selected contractor? Yes, they're hired and they've been added to your list. Nothing more that you need. And we can see they now enter our contractor list. We're going to be going into much more detail in this in the June webinar. There are a lot more functions here. This is just the very high level of what you need to get started. So now we're going to go on to messages. So this is very similar to what you see today. This has a very similar look and feel. So the rest of my account, the visuals have been updated, but this is very similar to what you currently have. The functionality is also very similar. Now, some of these messages may have documents attached. So let's have a look at one. So we can see on the right-hand side, there is an attached file, a claim acceptance and calculation of benefits letter. So when we click on it, exactly what you would see in the mail, but in a PDF format so you can manage this electronically. Again, it's that same new updated look and feel, same updated language, a little bit easier to process, and then as with all of our letters, we're including information on working to well at the bottom. That's our program where we're promoting that work is healthy and reintegrating into the workplace is good for employers, but it's also incredibly good for injured workers. So if you want any more information on that, you can click on that. You can click on the link, or you can look at, go to Google and search for Working to Well WCB Nova Scotia. All right. One thing that I would like to note is that if you're going to be sending a message, we ask that you only refer to one claim at a time. So when we look here, there's a WCB claim number. If you know it, you don't need it. But the reason that we ask that you only talk about one claim at a time is that the messages that you send us, we will be including in the claim file, and it can be a privacy issue if there are multiple claims being discussed all at once. So we would request that you, when messaging with the case management team, please only refer to one claim at a time. So let's send a message, and we're going to ask about coverage for a new line of business that we're considering. Pretty straightforward question. Then, if there was any documents that you felt like you needed to attach, you could do so. But for this message, we don't need to. This is pretty straightforward, so we can just click send. And you can see This then shows up in your Messages tab. Perfect. All right, now we're looking at the WCB account page. So going forward, one thing that's good to know is that you're not going to be receiving printed clearance letters. So this tab will show you your clearance status and that you can check in real time. So you can see that here our policy is in force, so we have registered and we are in good standing. That's exactly what we need to know. Now, if you're going to be hiring contractors, again, they're not going to be they don't have access to clearance letters. So that's going to be something that the hiring organization will manage through this platform as well, where you're going to be able to check the status of other organizations that you're hiring. Statuses on this also update on a daily basis, so you don't have to worry about how accurate or up to date the information is. You know that this is up to date within the day. Now we're going to look at a business discontinuation field. So not all businesses remain open for 12 months out of the year. There are a lot of seasonal businesses in the province. So now you can actually let us know that you are temporarily discontinuing your business or you're closing it permanently online. So for this example, we are going to say that we are closing our business temporarily. So we're going to close down for the off season. So in this field, we can choose the date that our operations are going to close. And we can choose when we are going to start up again. So we're going to close in July and we are going to come back the last day of September. You verify that the information is true. This is the equivalent of an electronic signature, and then we click submit. Now, let's talk about how we manage user access. So, if you are the employer administrator for an account, you'll have access to this screen. So you can see here, we have two accounts. We have Susan Brown and Frank Jones. Well, we just updated the primary contact information from Susan Brown to another individual. So this person has left the organization. We no longer need this person to have access. We can go in and we can disable their account and update. We click that button, we click disabled, and we update. User contact updated successfully. Easy as that. Now, another thing to notice here is that we still have access to the Occupational Health and Safety tab. So if there's been an inspection by a health and safety officer from the Department of Labor and Advanced Education, or if there's been an order issued or a warning or a deviation, all of the documents that you currently have access to via My Account under this tab will still exist going forward. So we're not going to get into that now, but just know that we have the same documents there that we currently have. So that is a high-level overview of the functionality of the new My Account and some of the things that you can expect going forward. So, a couple of important things to note, a couple of important dates. So the new version of My Account is going to be available in early June of 2019. So same main WCB webpage, and the old bookmarks are going to be updated. The second webinar that I referred to several times throughout this webinar is going to go more in depth with a couple of key features that some folks are going to be using on a regular basis, and you may need to have a little bit more of a walkthrough to fully understand how the platform works. So that's going to include how to submit payroll information. We're going to go further in depth on how to manage contractors. We're also going to be dealing with the claims data download feature and reporting, and some of the added functionality there, and actually going through a live demo. We're also going to be looking at the financials tab in a little bit more depth, and then we're also going to be dealing with secure messaging and showing a little bit more of the functionality that's been added there. So, another thing that is very important to keep in mind. So, for a short time in the first week of June, My Account will be offline. Now, this is a part of our transition from our current legacy systems into the new platform, which is Guidewire. So in order to do that, we are going to have our core systems shut down for a small period of time, and MyAccount is tied to that, so that will happen. Just so you know, your secure message history will be visible in the new MyAccount. We are going to be able to bring that over. However, previous statements of account are not going to be able to be brought over. So if you need those, we would strongly suggest that you would print those to maintain them for your record. Another important thing to note is that anything that's in a draft form will not be saved in the new MyAccount. So if you have any injury reports that are in progress, just know that those won't be saved. So either submit them or take a record of anything that you need via another method. So, resources. At any point in time, if you need more help, on the bottom part of MyAccount on any page is the help button. Clicking there is going to take you to another website, and that's going to have all kinds of content and resource material and tip sheets that can walk you through what you need to do step by step. So, that is a very high-level overview of everything that we have to talk about for the new MyAccount. I want to thank you for taking the time and tuning in today. There is going to be a lot more information coming from us coming forward in the next few weeks. We're very excited about our transition to our new software package, and we think that this is going to help us provide more efficient service and more modern service to our clients, both injured workers and organizations. Thank you for your time, and now we're actually going to go into a couple of questions. All right, as we wait here for a couple answers to some of the questions that you submitted, let's have a look at another resource that's available to you as an employer. So on our main website, you can click on About Us and Changing to Serve You Better. So this web page has a lot of great resources for you as we go through our transition, and there's a lot of really good stuff in here. One thing that I would really like to highlight is that we have a couple of demo videos actually posted up already that you can review, and there's a lot of good information there on how you can actually walk through the process of getting information out of MyAccount. And you can see here on all of these different green bars, there's a lot of different information and tip sheets and resources around whatever issue you could possibly have. And we're back. So we have a couple questions here that we have answers to. Just to note, if there is a question that was submitted and if we don't read it aloud on this webinar, we will be in touch with you directly to provide more information. So, first question we have here. Our payroll is submitted by a payroll provider. However, we do have a few subcontractors that we need to pay WCB for when it occurs. So the question is, will the payroll submission tab add the total I enter to what the payroll provider adds? So the payroll provider will continue to provide your payroll details, and contractor-related payroll will be added when they're logged into MyAccount in the Contractors tab. So, next question. Today, we use our online banking service to remit payroll information and pay our premiums each month. Although there are new changes coming to enable doing the same on the new platform, can we still use our online banking service for payroll submission and premium payment? So, good news, the same methods that you're using today can be used with the addition of MyAccount, so those methods will still be valid. And our last question that we're going to answer here is, do the subcontractors added into MyAccount populate in the annual subcontractor form for submission at the end of the year? So that's a great question. Actually, this new contractor management system, part of MyAccount, is going to serve in place of the annual report. So you can provide details as you know them throughout the year, and that tab is going to be considered the new contractor management report. On that note, one thing that I would like to reinforce, I think I've said it a couple times already, but we can't say it enough. We want everyone to know that clearance letters are not going to exist in the future. So the MyAccount function of the contractor management system is very important because that's how we're going to be managing contractor clearance going forward. The contractor won't be providing a letter that states their coverage. However, the employer that is hiring the contractor is going to be the one that is responsible for verifying the current status of their coverage. So, with that, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to walk through the new MyAccount. I know we're very excited, and I know a lot of you are very excited about the platform. And if you have any questions, again, please send them to the email address that is up on the screen, or call our 1-800 number, or get in touch with a workplace consultant or relationship manager that is currently working with you. Thank you, and see you next time.